Okay, so I've already made a review video on the iPad 9 here some months back, and in today's video I just want to share with you an update, what it's been like using this guy here for the last 6 months and whether you should still consider picking up an iPad 9. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, jumping right into it, beyond that old look, right, the legacy look that we have on the iPad 9 here, this is still a top level tablet, at least for something in this category. Sure, this design here continues to push out that old nostalgic look, but the reality is that most people who are, well, at least the majority of people who tend to be pragmatic won't really care about this. They will be wondering whether this guy here can still do the job, which it can. Now, if we want to go ahead and start off with just the specs and performance, it is loaded with an A13 Bionic chip, right? Making it 25% faster than the predecessor, right? That is very, very telling. Meaning, as long as you don't mind this look that it is sharing with the previous one, you should be able to be 25% more productive in terms of speed specifically, right? Let's say if you were rendering videos, whatever the case may be, which, by the way, when I was testing editing videos on here, I was super impressed. GPU performance here is excellent. It is like pretty close to pro Android tablet when it comes down to just 4K video rendering. It's also a very good budget tablet for gaming, right? Playing things like, Call of Duty, PUBG Mobile, Asphalt 9, those are the games that I typically make sure that I'm able to play comfortably without any issues, and because they are fairly heavy games. So playing those games on here, it's like playing it on the pro tablet. So the way this guy can handle those games, it's truly impressive. So if you're looking for something that will offer you that, high level of GPU performance and a great level of gaming, for heavy games, this guy here might be the one for you to go for. Of course, I'm talking if you are considering budget tablets. Although when we're looking at the price here, this guy is supposed to run you $330. I believe Walmart has it in special for like $300 or $310. I don't remember. But if you are looking for something kind of on the budget side, they'll offer you great GPU performance, this might be the guy. And needless to say that beyond that, just day-to-day tasks, it's just a breeze, right? You can do some good level of multitasking, but you have to keep in mind that, Apple does limit its devices in terms of multitasking when compared, so relative to what Android allows on its devices, right? So the way you would be able to multitask on something like even the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite versus here, you don't really have that much flexibility on the iPad 9 here. Not because it's not powerful enough, but simply because it is limited by software. And by the way, if this is your first time visiting, please make sure to hit both the like and the subscribe button. I truly appreciate that. Now, going back to that A13 Bionic chip, you do have 3 gigs of RAM here coupled with that. So again, performance is actually excellent for something in this price range. My unit here is the base 24 gigs of internal storage. Unfortunately, you cannot expand the storage here. So if you were to buy just the 64 gigs, you just have 64 gigs. Now, obviously, you can still connect to something external, to an external storage, and be able to, transfer files and do it that way. But in terms of internal storage, you are pretty much capped at 64, and that's even before counting how much space is taken by the system itself. The display here is an IPS display, of course, pretty decent display. I absolutely hate the fact that it's not laminated. It's not a laminated display, meaning that entertainment is going to be weird when compared to something that is laminated. Obviously, if you don't pay attention to it, you'll be fine. It's essentially what I'm talking about, the distance, the little gap between the display, this top part of the display and the actual display under it, right? So if you don't mind that, you should be fine. The resolution here is 2160 by 1620. The brightness here can be pushed out up to 500 nits, which is super impressive, right? So one thing also that I need to highlight here on the display is the availability of a True Tone, right? So you have True Tone, the True Tone feature, True Tone display feature added to the iPad 9 here, which is a very nice move, which, by the way, may actually even help you save a battery as you go. Some of the physical features, one thing that I still hate is the fact that we have the 2 speakers side by side here at the bottom, meaning if you're holding the tablet like this, you're blocking it, right? You won't be able to get the full sound coming out. But other than that, we do have some pretty nice physical features on here. We have a headphone jack, which is always nice, and obviously we only see those now just on budget tablets. We do have a fingerprint scanner, right? The physical fingerprint scanner here, which of course is Touch ID with Apple or by Apple, and it's still one of my favorite things about some Apple devices, just that Touch ID. It is super fast and it is super secure. Love it. Now, even though today's video is not really a full review of the iPad 9 here, I still want to highlight the fact that the front camera there is a 12 megapixel camera that is loaded, of course, with center stage, which is the ability, you know, for the camera to go ahead and adjust to make sure that it keeps everyone within the frame, right? So it is ultra wide lens. When it detects movements within the frame, what it would do is it will just pan wide to include a lot more people or to make sure that you stay in frame. And then, of course, surprisingly, the main camera is actually only 8 megapixels, and it's not that great. It's decent. I mean, it's a tablet. We don't really expect the camera to be top notch or to be comparable to what we have on our new generation phones, but it's there. The battery here is also a decent size. You're looking at 8550 milliamp power. I'm going to say 8550 or 8555, I believe, milliamp power. That simply means that it will last the entire day as long as you do moderate usage. Even for power users, you may be able to still pull a whole day out of it, but it will truly depend on, you know, your habits, right? The type of apps that you use, how long you use them. So it's fairly subjective. I know I'm trying to avoid saying that, but it is what it is, right? So you may be able to pull a day out of it. You may not. It will truly depend on your usage. But anyway, so here's my take. This is a great budget tablet by Apple. Again, the amount of value that this guy offers is pretty surprising, especially coming from Apple. And I did say that in my last video. I'm still surprised that they were able to, double up the internal storage, include that camera, that 12 megapixel camera with center stage. But then again, in this day and age, when we do a lot of, conference call, video calls, and so forth, it is crucial to have something like this. So Apple did make sure that even if you were to go for their budget tablet, you'll still be able to take advantage of, some of those flagship features. Now, the one thing that I almost forgot to bring up is the fact that it is, of course, compatible with the Apple Pencil first generation. That's the one that has a very interesting way of charging, right? But anyway, so it works pretty well. I was able to actually even do some level of editing with it, but as you may know, there's one thing that I don't like about Apple Pencil. It's just the tap, right? So the plastic versus that display, it makes that sound. So you don't really get that level of feedback that you would get with some other styluses that are a lot more, that not only feel very natural to the hand, as you hold, as you write, as you draw, whatever the case may be, but also the level of feedback that those styluses provide. So you don't really get that here, but it's still a very nice, it actually feels a lot more premium than what you would get from Android, tablets. But in terms of just user experience, I would go for something that may look cheap, but that offers an overall better user experience. But anyways, that's just my take. So if you are in the market for this particular tablet and you're hesitating and you're looking for something budget, that's going to offer you great GPU performance, great overall performance, and you're also looking for something that you can use a pen to take down notes or draw, whatever the case may be, this guy here is a very, very good tablet, as long as you don't mind this old display, the old look that you have with this display here. But anyway, let me know what any questions you may have, maybe things that you'd like for me to test out on this tablet here. I will catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Make sure, of course, to like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure to share the video. I'm going to catch you in the next video, of course. Up until that next video, as always, stay safe out there.